Welcome to your online classes, everyone. So today we are going to continue your previous topic, the United Nations. Yes. So students, in this chapter we have learned that what is United Nation and why it is made for. So the main purpose for forming the United Nations was to maintain international peace. To maintain what? International peace. Okay. So students, this chapter started with the story of Amit. He saw his father reading a newspaper, and he asked that, "Father, what are you reading?" Right. So his father replies that I am reading our Prime Minister's address at the UN, and then his son, Amit says that United Nations. Once I have also heard about it, but I do not know what it is. Okay, I cannot understand what it is and what is its role. So he explains, his father explains it with an example like sometimes your siblings can also have some fighting, some disagreements, some difference of opinions. In the same way, sometimes different countries can also have difference in opinions, disagreement over the same things. Yes, they can also fight with each other. So for avoiding these kind of fights or avoiding the conflicts between the different countries, UN, the United Nations, has been formed. Okay. So students, in your previous class I told you that after First World War, and when First World War started, it started in 1914 and it ended in 1918. Then what was formed? After First World War, League of Nations was formed, but League of Nations failed in its action and Second World War took place in 1939. And in 1945 only United Nations was formed with 6 organs, and it also has some specialized agencies. Okay, Tani, they stop requesting. So 6 organs, today we are going to continue with that only. First of all, let me tell you the world wars. 2 world wars were there. They were very devastating, very destroying. Yes, and many atomic bombs were also there. It destroyed the normal life of people. Thousands of lakhs of people were died in this. Okay, in these 2 wars. So due to that, these kind of wars only, people felt the requirement, the need of having a global organization. Global means worldwide organization which would maintain the peace and security in the world. Okay, students? So that first of all, to maintain the security, to maintain the peace, and secondly, to address the common issues, to address the common problems, to solve out the common problems which different nations were or are facing. Okay. So United Nations is a global organization. This was formed for this purpose only. Yes, and it is 193 nations, 193 countries as the member nations, as its members. Okay, students. So we have read that in 1945 it was signed by 50 countries in San Francisco. Okay, so these 50 countries were its original members, and at the same time Poland also signed it after other countries, and it also became its original member. So 51 original members were there. Okay, and the headquarters of the UN is in New York, the USA. Okay, objectives, the main objectives of the United Nations are maintenance of international peace and security. Already I told you it is its main purpose, right, students? And promotion of friendly relations. The nation should have which kind of relations? Friendly relations. Yes, among its members, especially the members of United Nations should have friendly relations. Yes, achievement of international cooperation means there should be a kind of international cooperation. People should cooperate with each other. People should help each other. Okay, promotion of human rights. Human rights, you all know, some rights are there which have been entitled to every human being, such as right to life. Okay, we all are having right to live our life. Okay, so there in that way many other type of rights are there which should be maintained by the UN, United Nations. Yes, our fundamental freedoms which are there available to us, all should be available to us. No one cannot take away our rights, our fundamental freedoms. Okay. So now the organs of the UN. First organ is General Assembly. Already though I have explained, but once again I am giving you the explanation and reading as well. The General Assembly. The General Assembly is a is the main body of the UN, and all the members of the nations, all the member nations are represented in this assembly. Decisions regarding issues related to the objectives of UN are taken here. Whatever the objectives of the UN are there, na, whatever decision related to the objectives, that will be taken in the General Assembly itself. Okay. So these decisions are based on the votes of the member nations. Means voting will be conducted from the member nation, and you know what? Due to this voting only, after this voting only decisions will be taken. Like those who will be in the favor of the decision, then only the decision will be taken, otherwise it will not be taken. If less number of members are in favor, then they cannot be, the decision will not be taken. Only I have switched off the video, audio I have not switched off, so you all must be able to get my voice. I hope you all are getting my voice. Video will not get for some time. Okay, students. Now, Security Council. The second organ of the general of this United Nations is Security Council. In Security Council, there are few members. There are around 15 members, and out of these 15 members, no, 5 members are there which are permanent members. It has 15 members, out of which 5 members are permanent members. And who are the members of the this United Nations? Beta, different countries, different nations. Yes, so the Security Council is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. It is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. United Nations work is this only, and this work will be taken over by Security Council. Okay, 15 members are there, out of which 5 are permanent. The USA, the UK, the France, Russia and China. They have the veto. The 5 members are there now, the 5 permanent members, USA, UK, France, Russia and China. They have veto power also, which literally means I deny. I deny means if they do not agree to any kind of point or any kind of issue, then the decision will not be taken over. Agar in लोगों ने जो 5 members है, which USA, UK, France, Russia and China, the 5 permanent members, if they, one of them, अगर किसी एक ने भी इनमें से मना कर दिया, तो कोई भी इश्यू है, डिस्कस किया जा रहा है, उस पर डिसीजन लिया जा रहा है, तो वो डिसीजन नहीं लिया जाएगा, वो पास नहीं होगा. ठीक है? So, if any one member votes against an issue being discussed, it cannot be passed. मतलब कोई भी डिसीजन लिया जा रहा है या फिर कोई भी इशू है वो डिस्कस किया जा रहा है और इन 5 मेंबर्स में से एक मेंबर ने अगर वो अगेंस्ट में वोट दे दिया तो फिर वो इशू, वो डिसीजन पास नहीं होगा. The non-permanent members are elected by the General Assembly for a term of 2 years. The non-permanent members, those members which are not permanent, these members has a term of 2 years. Means They work for 2 years only. Okay, students? Yes, all of you. Secretariat, third organ of the UN is Secretariat. Secretariat will work for Secretariat carries out the day-to-day work of the UN, United Nations. United Nations day-to-day work will be carried out by the Secretariat. Okay, it includes tens of thousands of international UN staff members. Whatever the staff members, whosoever the employees are there in the United Nations, they all will work in the Secretariat. Okay. Secretariat is headed by the Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly for a term of 5 years on the recommendation of the Security Council. So you don't get confused. जो non-permanent members है, their term of working is 2 years. मतलब 2 years बाद मेंबर जो नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर्स है 15 में से 5 परमानेंट थे, इट मीन्स जो 10 अदर मेंबर्स है उनको हर 2 साल से चेंज कर दिया जाता है. ओके, दैट इट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ जनरल असेंबली हैज द टर्म ऑफ 2 years. द परमानेंट नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर्स. ओके, and permanent members means for the lifetime they are permanent. Okay, now secretariat. Secretariat is headed, secretariat have thousands of employees, जो thousands of lakhs of employees हैं किसमें, UN में. तो वो सारे जितने भी 10,000 20,000 मेंबर्स हैं वो सब सेक्रेटरीट का पार्ट होते हैं. एंड दिस सेक्रेटरीट इज हेडेड बाय अ सेक्रेटरी जनरल. ठीक है, सेक्रेटरी जनरल होता है जो इसका हेड होता है. एंड सेक्रेटरी जनरल विल बी अपॉइंटेड बाय द जनरल असेंबली फॉर हाउ मेनी ईयर्स, फॉर 5 years. And on whose recommendation? On the recommendation of Security Council. It means the members of Security Council will recommend, will give advice that this person should be chosen as the head of the general, head of the secretary general. Okay, and then General Assembly will appoint that person as the Secretary General for 5 years. Okay, after receiving the recommendations of Security Council. Now, fourth organ is International Court of Justice. International Court of Justice. In previous chapter, you have learned about Supreme Court, High Court and all. So here, this is the more than Supreme Court, more powerful than our Supreme Court, which is this International Court of Justice. Because like Supreme Court works on the national level, on international level, International Court will work on the global level. Okay, so the International Court of Justice situated in The Hague, the Netherlands, is the main judicial organ of the UN. नीदरलैंड्स में हैग है, वहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस इज सिचुएटेड. और ये यूएन का मेन जुडिशियरी ऑर्गन है. इट हैज 15 जजेस इलेक्टेड फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 9 years. Elected for a period of how many years, beta? 9. So don't get confused. Non-permanent members for 2 years. Secretary General for the period of 5 years. And here the judges of the UN, judges of the International Court of Justice for 9 years. Okay, it settles disputes between different countries. Okay, if any of the countries who are member nations or having any kind of dispute, it will be solved by the International Court of Justice. Gives advice on international law and safeguard human rights. Whatever international law will be there, law means rules for the country, and whatever the rules of the country will be there, UN can give advice. Okay, the international this Court of Justice can give advice about them. Yes, on the international laws, and it will safeguard the human rights. It means it will protect all the human rights. It is one of the objective of the UN that it will protect it will safeguard the human rights. Okay. Next organ is Economic and Social Council. Economic and Social Council. Economic and Social Council of the UN deals with economic, social and environmental issues and other developmental goals. Okay? Economic and Social Council will deal with different issues, with different matters. Okay? Which can be related to environment, it can be related to society, it can be related with culture, it can be related with economy, it can be related with development. Okay, so it will deal with these kind of things. It has 54 members, and these 54 members will be again appointed by General Assembly for a period of 3 years each. So these periods you'll have to remember very properly. Okay, student? Like these members will be for the period of 3 years. है ना? Which members? The members of Economic and Social Council. How many members? 54. The judges, 15 judges for the period of 9 years. Okay. Then General Assemblies, Secretariats, Head, General Secretary, Secretary General. He will be appointed for the period of 5 years. Okay. And the non-permanent members, 10 members, they will be appointed for 2 years. Okay. So don't get confused. Now, sixth organ is Trusteeship Council. Trusteeship Council. Okay. In 1945, the Trusteeship Council was established to provide international supervision for 11 trust territories. 11 trust territories were there. Okay. And for their supervision, supervision means to check something, to have a watch. Okay, like the work which is done properly or not. सुपरवाइज करने का मतलब होता है इस चीज को देखना कि जो काम हो रहा है क्या वो प्रॉपरली हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, क्या उसमें कुछ किसी इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है, क्या वो टाइम से हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, इसी को बोलते हैं सुपरविजन. ओके, so trusteeship council was established for the supervision of 11 trust territories were there. Okay, these trust territories attained independence or self-government by 1994, and all these territories these got independence by 1994. So the council is thus no longer functional and has agreed to meet only if required to do so. Okay, so the trusteeship council does not meet regularly. They do not have any meeting. Only and only if any case is related to this trusteeship council or trust territories, then only they will meet. Okay. Next is the UN peacekeepers. See in the box, beta. The UN peacekeepers. The United Nations has a peacekeeping force which it sends to solve international disputes. These forces are called out when the opposing parties cannot arrive at a solution that benefits everyone. ठीक है, यूनाइटेड नेशंस के पास एक पीस कीपिंग फोर्स भी है. ओके, विच और ये जब भी भेजती है जब कोई इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट हो जाता है. These forces are called out when the opposing parties cannot arrive at a solution that benefits everyone. ये फोर्सेस तब भेजी जाती हैं जब जो ऑपोजिट पार्टीज होती है, अपोज करने वाली पार्टीज होती है, वो किसी ऐसी चीज पे एग्री नहीं होते जो सबके फायदे के लिए सही हो. ठीक है. The UN sends its peacekeeping forces on the approval of the Security Council. जब सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल अप्रूव कर देगा तब ही यूएन अपनी पीस कीपिंग फोर्स को भेजता है. ठीक है. सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का ही वर्क होता है इंटरनेशनल पीस और सिक्योरिटी को मेंटेन रखने का. ठीक है. हाउ मेनी मेंबर्स वर देयर इन दिस? 15. 5 वर परमानेंट, 10 वर नॉन परमानेंट. परमानेंट मेंबर्स कौन कौन है? यूएस, यूके, फ्रांस, रशिया एंड चाइना. इनके पास कौन सी पावर होती है? वीटो पावर. वीटो पावर मीन्स अगर इनमें से कोई एक भी मेंबर will deny to any kind of decision or any kind of issue, then that decision or issue will not get passed. Okay, and the non-permanent members will be appointed by the General Assembly. They will be elected, means elections will be there for them in the General Assembly. Okay. And they will be appointed for 2 years. For how many years? 2 years only. Okay. So the peacekeeping force, peacekeeping जो force है, ये इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट्स को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए यूनाइटेड नेशंस रखता है. तभी भेजा जाएगा जब जो ऑपोजिट पार्टीज हैं ये कोई ऐसे सॉल्यूशन तक नहीं पहुंच पाती है जो सबके बेनिफिट के लिए होता है. UN sends its peacekeeping force only after the approval of Security Council. Some of the goals of the UN peacekeeping force are to prevent conflict. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बचाना होने से बचाना, प्रोटेक्ट सिविलियंस, जो सिविल लोग हैं, जो नॉर्मल सिटीजन्स हैं, उनको बचाना, ह्यूमन राइट्स को बचाना और प्रमोट करना. ओके, वंस अगेन आई एम गोइंग टू रिवाइज द ऑर्गन्स फॉर यू. जनरल असेंबली जो है, दैट इज मेन बॉडी ऑफ द UN and all the member nations are represented in this assembly. Decisions regarding the issues related to the objectives of UN are taken here, where in the General Assembly. Okay, and the decisions will be taken on the basis of vote. Okay, Security Council, just now I have explained, 15 members are there, 5 have veto power, USA, UK, France, Russia and China. 10 non-permanent members are there. Okay, and they will be appointed for 2 years by General Assembly. Okay, and permanent members are permanent only. Secretariat, जो डे टू डे वर्क जो भी होता है UN का, उसको सब कौन करेगा? सेक्रेटरीट. इन हिंदी वी कॉल दैट सचिवालय. ठीक है. सो सेक्रेटरीट जो है UN का, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे 10,000 20,000 के करीब जो एम्प्लॉयज हैं वो वर्क करते हैं, एंड ये लोग ही इसका डेली टू डेली का काम देखते हैं. ठीक है. जो सेक्रेटरीट है इसका हेड होता है सेक्रेटरी जनरल, और सेक्रेटरी जनरल को अपॉइंट करते हैं जनरल असेंबली. कितने टर्म के लिए? 5 ईयर्स के टर्म के लिए. ठीक है. अच्छा, जनरल असेंबली को रेकमेंड कौन करेगा इसके लिए? सेक्रेटरी जनरल के लिए सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल. ओके. द इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस इज द 4th ऑर्गन, एंड ये कहाँ है? हैग इन नीदरलैंड्स, and there are 15 judges. They are appointed for the period of 9 years. Okay, and it is the main judicial organ of the UN, and it will settle down the dispute between any nation, any country, and it will give advice on international law, and it will safeguard the human rights. 5th organ is Economic and Social Council. Which is 5th organ? Economic and Social Council. Economic and Social Council of the UN, it will deal with the economic things, the matters which are related to economy, society, environment, okay, development. So these kind of things will be dealt by Economic and Social Council. There are 54 members. Each will be elected by General Assembly for a period of 3 years each. Means each member out of these 54 members will be appointed for 3 years only. Next is Trusteeship Council, 6th organ. Trusteeship Council was made for supervising the work of trust councils. There were 11 trust territories. Okay, so for that only this council has been made, like whatever if they are working properly or not, the trust territories are working properly or not, that would be supervised by the trust council. But by 1994 these trust territories got their independence, and due to that now they do not have much of the conflicts and all. So trust council is not needed in that way. So it means when only there is a requirement. Okay. Then we read about the peacekeepers. Peacekeeping force was there, which was maintained by the United Nations for solving the disputes. If any dispute is there, then with the approval of the Security Council, they will the United Nations will send the peacekeeping force. Now, along with the 6 organs, the United Nations also has many specialized agencies. Okay, so each agency will work in a certain area, in a particular area, and these are WHO, World Health Organization. As the name suggests, it will work for health of the people. Next is Food and Agricultural Organization. Okay, and it will be improving the food production and all these kind of things. Next is UNICEF, United Nations Children Fund. Next is UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Next one is International Labour Organization, ILO. And the last one is IMF, International Monetary Fund. It will provide the help related to money to the countries. Okay, so that's enough for today, students. In your next class, we will continue with this chapter. I'll explain you all the works of these different agencies, and also I will explain you the India and the UN. Okay, so bye and take care.